All right, there we go.
Yes, live.
Live. Dude, this is now a bit awkward to speak to you in English because usually we speak in Swiss German. And
True.
before we go on here, I want to explain why it is. So, as you know, I have an international business, I have clients from all over the world. I want to use this piece of content here for my podcast. And we are live on 3 different platforms right now. So it's LinkedIn, it's Facebook, it's YouTube. And I think this conversation here is interesting for like not only Swiss people, but for people all over the world. So this why we speak in English. And with that being said, I want to welcome you to the show here. I know you're a busy dude, so thanks for making time for me.
No problem. Thanks for inviting me. Thanks for having me.
I want to jump into our discussion how fitness affects productivity and work performance. Maybe a little bit of a background to you. You're the founder of NEOVISO, a company that is specialized on how the generation Z thinks, behaves, and how companies need to communicate in order to talk to them accordingly. I think whether it comes to finding jobs or selling a product, selling a service, you're the person or the company that people go to, right?
Yeah, exactly. That's a good pitch.
How many employees do you have right now?
Currently, we're 21. If I'm looking just right out of the window, there's the 22nd guy actually coming. So I mean, he's just getting introduced to all the processes. So we're growing. And it's good. A lot of fun and a lot of challenges.
Always scaling.
Yeah, always scaling, always growing. But always, I think, in a very clever way. That's also important. We have to grow from our own finances, from our own returns. So we kind of reinvest it. It's not like we have external investors. It's all, you could say, bootstrapped, and that's a challenge. But at the end, it's also a lot of fun to do it like this. So yeah, a lot of action going on.
Cool. Good to hear that. Apart from that, you are engaged or involved in many other projects as well. You do live events, public speaking. You like to help out friends. You even helped me building my own brand and gym performance. So you're very busy, but you still find time for sports, right? I mean, we've been to the gym together. I see you running half marathons. You've done a couple, right?
Yes. I mean, I did them. I'm not a half marathon runner. It's not my special program to do it like this or discipline, but I try to find time to do it. Yeah.
How many times do you practice sports at the moment?
Currently, actually, just right now, probably once or twice a week. Currently, like really going out, working out, maybe 3 times. Sometimes these are very short workouts. You inspired me very well to kind of do the 15, 20 minutes. That's already enough. For the 10-minute one we did in Miami, crazy awesome. Hard workout. And sometimes I really go out for a run in the evening. I really have to say that's always the excuse, right? Yeah, currently super busy, but I'm trying to think stable, and probably compared to earlier, it's not stressing me out that much because I know that's part of life, and you have better routines and worse. But currently, that's kind of the status the last 2-3 weeks.
What is your motivation to do those things? Like, you have all the excuses to just like skip them and not be active at all. Why do you do that? Why do you still go for this run or do like a mini workout?
So first of all, there's definitely the mental thing, like especially the running in the evening, go out, clear your mind, have like 30 minutes, 40 minutes, just like freeing up my mind. I think that really, really helps. And that's a big motivation for me. The second one is, of course, and probably that's also one of the core takeaways, I think, from today's session is at the end, healthy body, healthy mind, healthy life, right? And especially if I have a good mind and a good body that's active, that's working right, helps me staying productive and also happy, especially happy in the job that I do. Because I think doing something in a very unhealthy way, like working 10, 12 hours is much worse than actually being fit and working 10, 12 hours or whatever is needed.
Yeah, I think that's super interesting. And maybe I can even explain, or I want to say something about my life personally, because like when I look back 2021 or even the previous year, there are good months in terms of business and bad months.
Hmm.
And what I find very fascinating is I can tell how my mentality, how my well-being was at the time.
Yeah.
So every
Yeah.
time I felt a bit off, maybe didn't take my fitness and health very seriously, like also
Mhm.
the business just tanked, and it's super interesting. Comes maybe down to the fact that I'm only like one person behind the brand. Obviously, yeah, you have a bigger team.
Yeah.
We are only like four in the meantime, so that makes a difference, obviously, because in your situation, it's not just you, but still, it makes a difference, right?
Yeah, I mean, look, just to jump in here, I mean, what really changed my mindset about building a business, being in business, being productive was not I have to work the tasks that I have and I have an income that I want to achieve. No, it's actually I'm responsible now for 22 people here that depend on me of money, but they also depend on me on experience, on
Hmm.
development, and their career and their happy life. So yeah, I mean that's the pressure. That's also exactly why I want to be the best possible way of leadership that I can do, especially with the
Hmm.
good mind.
Hmm. What would happen if you wouldn't do this? What would happen if you wouldn't go for a run or wouldn't eat healthy or whatever it is?
I think the most extreme thing is probably then it's kind of a death spiral or how like downward spiral. How do you say that exactly in English? Like you're not fit anymore in the morning. You're not motivated. You don't get the things done. You maybe just do the things that are the easiest one, the easiest task. But especially for me, I have a lot of things that are they don't make a lot of fun, but you have to do them, of course. And at the end, I'm happy to do them. So I think the team would directly notice it within 1 or 2 weeks
Yeah.
when I'm not happy, especially also sleep. Maybe we can also talk about that later, but it's probably the biggest challenge still. I mean, I'm happy to go for a run, do workouts, whatever, but actually sleeping enough is not good. So my mood and my meeting productivity,
Hmm.
because I'm a lot
Hmm.
of in the meetings,
Hmm.
this is really, really bad. And what I realized was people were realizing from me every morning how my mood was when I came into the office or to the meeting. I directly know first
Yeah.
2 seconds in the meeting,
Yeah. Yeah.
video call or physical meeting.
Yeah.
Oh, Yannick is not on his best level.
Yeah.
He's not on 100%.
Crazy, right? Yeah.
Yeah, they want
But
it because they have fun and
you
they
know,
expect it.
I love hearing that. You said you do something for your health, you go for the run, and then you feel better.
Mhm.
People sometimes have this wrong idea, like they go for a run when they feel okay, when they feel well, when in reality it's the other way around. You put in the work first, you take action, you go for a run, you go to the gym, you lift some weights, whatever it is, and then you feel better afterwards,
Yeah.
and not the other way around. Because if you just wait until things get better, and like you wait until you have some time until you feel it, then
Mhm.
you go maybe once every 2 weeks, right? But
Exactly.
when you actually know, okay, I do that in order to improve my mood, then you make time for it. And like if you get for a 10-minute run, you will be also better at work, you can increase your work performance, then dude, you have all reasons to do it, right?
Yeah, 100%. I mean, this is always the motivation, number one, because it just gives me also the upward spiral. I mean, you know it. Last year, I did every month. I did a challenge week, which means I had like 18 or 20 tasks. Some were variable and some were fixed tasks that I had to do every day for 7 days. So like a real challenge, like get up at 5, go for a run 5 kilometers, do push-ups. Some tasks change, but this everyday doing and just movement was really important. And I think this is also something I really learned from you was you don't have to go like running or working out every day or whatever. It's the everyday movement that helps. And with my Apple Watch, I really realized sometimes you think, oh yeah, I was busy. Yeah, you didn't move at all, right? Taking the
Mm,
stairs,
mm,
walking around while in the call. This really helps me so much. Just really the movement of your body helps you
mm-hmm,
moving your
mm,
mindset and
mm-hmm,
like the
mm-hmm.
business at the end.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. And this is very true. You don't have to go like all hard and beast mode every day, 7 days a
No.
week. You know, sometimes, and I don't know who told this, but I think it's very true. There was a business leader. He said, "Look, when you go to the gym for like 2 times, you come back home and like nothing changes, right? Because like in 2 sessions, you cannot build muscle, you can not lose a lot of body fat, nothing changes. But when you do that." over a long period of time, just with consistency, like
Yeah.
just 2 times per week, then out of a sudden you see results.
Mm-hmm.
And like, if you tell me, dude, I want to get muscular with 2 workouts per week, I probably say, yeah, I mean, it's going to take a long time. It's possible,
Yeah.
but it's going to take a long time. And this is what you need to realize. It's still better than doing nothing, although it takes a long time. It's certainly a good idea, right? Because if you don't
100%.
put in, and
And
if you just say, okay, it's not worth it, then a
yeah.
year later, you're still at the same place, obviously.
100%. And to be honest, I also don't have those goals, for example, like building up muscles now or anything. I'm really happy how it is currently. But I'm just trying to keep it stable and mindset and everything just in the flow. So that's also why I said, hey, if I only have time or like maybe also the motivation to just do it this week for twice a week, this is more than okay. Not you could do more, but still with the whole thing as a whole, it still works because it helps me. I know if I want to train, for example, I'm now with Roger, the guy who also works here. We did a challenge on the podcast. We said let's do a triathlon this summer, like a fun one, but still swimming, cycling, and then running, maybe 5-6K as well at the end. It's a challenge, right? And now I'm started training, and this also helps me to have this goal now. So to be a little bit more precise or conscious about it. But otherwise, I'm more than in my mind. I'm more than happy just to keep it because it's a routine for me. So that's also I don't need a goal anymore. It's just like the process and the routine should be the goal to do it the way there. So yeah.
So right now you're training for a triathlon. How do you usually do it? Do you set goals for sports exactly like in business? Are you very intentional with your workouts where you say, okay, I go now for a swim because I know I have a triathlon ahead, or how do you set your goals?
I mean, now for the triathlon, yes, we set the goals where I say, okay, I want to go swimming now more often, or like also go cycling, especially on the indoor cycle. I'm not almost a lot of often going outdoors, but that's okay. There you can set the goals. Of course, there we have certain goal that we're going to set and we're going to achieve. On the other way around, I think it's rather the goals like 3 workouts per, like 2 runs and 2 workouts, like training muscle workouts per week. So you have like 4 things you do. So I set this goal, like, it's not like, okay, I want to have this biceps growth or I want to be able to pull this and this weight. This would also be cool. And to be honest, maybe that's also the goal. I should do this year.
I remember that you had this goal last year. You wanted to bench press 100 kgs, I believe.
Yeah, I wanted to do 100 kilograms.
Miserably.
Yeah, it's horrible. And that was also like one of the goals. Like we had the challenge week and I had a lot of goals really. And I told you, like I actually, from all the goals, from know-how, business, finance, health, all that stuff, I probably reached 2/3 of it, which is actually super good because you also told me, if you achieve all the goals, then the goals weren't set high enough. No, that's 100% true. And there I just didn't go too focus specific, like doing the bench press. So I was like at 82.5, but you really have to go more there. And that's a goal.
So what should you have done differently in order, like looking back, what should you have done differently to achieve this goal?
To be honest, if I really wanted to have achieved this goal, then I would have set the priorities completely different. I really would have gone much more conscious in the gym, really doing like a good split and like really track it exactly. I was more on running and like on the consistency of everything. So it wasn't priority number 1 goal. I also think, to be honest, should have talked more to you and like having you like give me the routine, give me the goals, and maybe coach me a little bit because but I'm not super sad because it was not my priority number 1 goal.
Yeah, I remember you talked to me like 4 weeks before, like just in December, right? Said, okay, I have 4 weeks to get to this level. And I gave you some tips, but like you cannot expect going from 70 to 100 in 4 weeks. It's like it's too much.
I think I did it like twice, this kind of workout, and then I realized, you know what, it's December. I mean, we have the whole business. I was so busy, really, with everything going on. I also didn't sleep that much because you have all the socials event, business, Christmas, opera, stuff like this, which is super important, networking for me. But so
got it.
But that's okay. But I have to do it this year. You're right.
All right. So being active and doing sports is obviously just one part of fitness and wellness. Diet and recovery, you mentioned sleep before, is important too.
Yeah.
Do you actually focus on your diet, and maybe you can address also stress and sleep, which is also huge,
Yeah.
obviously.
Yeah. So okay, let's start here with stress. I mean, stress is a thing that's completely different for everyone. I think I have a high threshold, so I'm really happy. No, not happy, but I'm easily capable of like handling stress,
Yeah,
handling problems.
just
Saying, okay,
resilient. Mm.
yeah, that's good. Let's do it. Let's find a way. But that's important. Sometimes I'm also feeling stressed. No discussion at all. So where do I get this? Okay, sleep, reading, like getting digital detox time in the evening or in the morning. But so like off time in general, very important. Then especially sleep. Where I have to say there are nights where I only sleep 4 or 5 hours, which is super bad. But in average, I'm actually getting like 6, I would say, which is okay, but I definitely know it should be more, and it also helps me. But I think with sleep, I'm really self-conscious about it, where I really realize, okay, I was kind of stressed, or tomorrow's an important day, so I'm trying to get early to bed. That's the only thing. I cannot sleep in until 7 or 8. I if I want to sleep more, I have to
Hmm.
go to bed
Hmm.
early.
I think sleep is huge. Is just
Yeah,
huge. I noticed it myself. I mean, I've Laura, my daughter,
yeah,
and just like one night, like it still happens that she gets up 3 times a night,
mhm,
and the next day I just can't feel it. I'm just
yeah,
a little bit of a brain fog, and for me, unfortunately, there's not much I can do about it.
yeah.
Maybe have some caffeine, like, but it
Mhm.
cannot be the solution in long term, right?
No,
Um, what do you have like a routine, or what do you do to make sure that you get plenty of sleep?
so probably the routine of the routines is actually on Sunday evening. I'm planning my week, and that's very important. So I know if I have a meeting
Yeah,
at 7 in the
same.
morning already, or I want to go for a run, or I have to be in Zurich somewhere, or like travel time. Then I really have to make sure. Okay, this evening I really have to go to bed early. I'm trying to we have a new apartment with my girlfriend, and I'm really trying to keep my smartphone out of the
Yeah,
bedroom.
I do this
Super
too.
important.
Yeah,
Yeah, very important. And trying to read there. So we also don't have a TV or anything there.
yeah.
Like reading in the evening really helps. And yeah, this digital off time, like 30 minutes before, in my opinion, is really important. But also here, there are certain nights where I work until 11:30, like highly stressed emails,
Yeah,
stuff like that's
yeah,
complicated.
yeah.
And 2 minutes later, I'm trying to sleep, where I also realize, Yannick, this was worse. This was bad.
It won't work.
Yeah,
Yeah,
but what do you want to do there? Are you accept it and saying, you know what, tomorrow we're gonna do it better. Next
yeah,
week I'm gonna do it
yeah,
better.
yeah,
Next year better. Just
yeah,
continue.
yeah.
Because otherwise you're just, oh, I should have done this differently. Yeah, no, it's
Yeah,
a new day, and
absolutely.
then adapt.
Yeah,
And then in the morning, that's maybe also important. In the morning, I try to get up and then have a morning routine. I think also it helps me to get like my mind, okay, I'm up now, my day starts. So it helps me even better to sleep in the evening, because this routine is, I mean, having a good
hmm,
evening and good sleep starts actually in the morning, what
hmm,
they all say.
absolutely. Sleep is definitely huge, and I have some clients who struggle to get plenty of sleep in, and it shows, right? Like they perhaps cannot lose more body fat, they cannot increase their lean muscle tissue
Mhm.
simply because the body doesn't get proper recovery. Because like all
Yeah.
these processes of building muscle, even losing body fat happens at night, and then the effect on your power, on your mood. I think we don't even need to mention. It's like
No,
crucial. Um,
100%. But yeah, I know this exactly.
yeah. You mentioned before that you're very good at handling stress. How did you develop that skill? Like personally, I even wrote a LinkedIn post, I think, about it, where I said, okay,
Yeah.
I'm just like stressed, and
Mhm.
was when I scaled my business and had Lara, and then like just so many things to organize. So, what tip can you give me to handle stress better?
I think, first of all, to realize it's not the fact that you can change what comes to you. It's actually only the fact, or the strategy, how you handle things. I mean, there is a very good talk or video, I think, the classic one, Joko Willink, on YouTube. And I think it's just called good. And I really like it because I also do that often. There's a problem, like, oh, hey, yeah, we have this problem, internally in the company or private life, whatever. Then I'm not saying good, but I'm saying, okay, good, I got it. And actually just analyzing yourself, how do you react to it? Because that bullshit happens. You can't change that. No, how you want to take influence on that, but you can influence how you react to that.
How to you? Absolutely.
Yeah. And then I actually, what also helps with stress is actually putting it on a framework to like, how important is this task or like this thing? Because sometimes you're stressing out about things that are not important at all.
Yeah, and I'm guilty of that 100%.
Yeah.
And this helped me to like just thinking, okay, in 1 week's time or maybe 6 months' time, is it still relevant? Is it important?
Exactly.
Oftentimes it's like, okay, it's actually not important at all, or you're stressing so much about such a little thing, not worth it.
Yeah. So actually, is it important on a complete life strategy, business strategy, or the fitness strategy thing? And then is it urgent as well? So importance and urgency, and then you combine it. If it's both, of course, you have to do it now. If it's important but not urgent, you can plan it. And this is definitely something that you don't have to fix it right now. On the other side, what I also realized was some stress or like some stressful feelings were coming just because of little tasks that I just got on my to-do list for weeks and weeks or days and days, or things I know that doesn't feel right. And now I really realize sometimes a phone call, the proactivity is so important because you get the stress, you have to react to that, but you're in charge of how you react to that. Also here in the team, if we have a meeting and it's really bad or it's really important or it's urgent, I don't even finish the meeting. I get the other person here to the meeting room, or I directly go there or take the call, because then it's like mentally there's a solution. And to a lot of things, there are really solutions. I always say, what's the worst thing that can happen?
Absolutely.
Here?
Yeah, that's what I do
And
too.
then, and then you
somehow
realize,
accept it, right? Like, okay, this is the worst case. Would it be that bad? Not really, right? It's like not the end of the world.
It's totally okay. And if you also know that's the worst thing that could happen, then you kind of put things also in perspective. And that's very, very important.
Yeah, absolutely. Cool. I want to continue with the diet part. This one we haven't touched on yet.
Sure.
Like, do you focus on what you eat? Like, what is your approach when it comes to diet and nutrition?
So yes, I focus on that, but I don't count the calories or stuff like this. I have in the challenge week, for example, or also still now this year, also there are some days where I just say, hey, today I track my calories just to get a sense of it and a little bit more conscious about it. But to be honest, what I really like is actually eating. Probably you could call it very in an essential or a minimalistic way. So, I mean, me, my favorite food is the basmati rice, some chicken, vegetables.
Super good and easy.
Easy stuff. Yeah. I don't need complicated things. I now have prepared like 3 meals this week, or like for 3 times on Sunday. It's just potatoes, chicken, and some tomatoes in there.
But it's so simple. It's so simple. Like, you have no idea how often I get asked, Martin, like, do I need to have some cooking skills, or can you send me some recipes? And I'm completely lost. And I'm literally showing them what I do. And those recipes, like my daughter, 3 years old, she can do them. It's literally, like you said, like rice. You don't even need to do anything. Maybe some meat, some vegetables. Super simple. You don't have to have any skills. It's nourishing. It's delicious.
It's best.
You don't,
and I like it. No, and I really have to say, I really like it. I'm not joking about it. I mean, all those people who know me well, they know I don't need sauce and like complicated things. I like complicated things. I like to cook complicated things, and it's really good. I'm also conscious about that. You can bring me to like a 3-star restaurant, and I would say, well, I would freak out because I love it. But on a daily basis, I'm really, really happy about the basic things. And I think that's important. I really try to drink a lot of water already. Easy task, not so easy task actually, but simple and helps a lot. I'm definitely guilty of drinking too much alcohol. I can admit that, like, on parties and weekends, but also during the week, bro. I mean, I have so many, aperos and social events. sometimes I go back and I realize, hey, almost every day I just had a glass of white wine or
Mm,
maybe two
mm,
because oh yeah, hey, cheers and stuff and business
mm.
stuff. So as a, if I would have or if I would be a politician, I think then it's even worse. So
But
that's something
yeah,
I
you're
definitely have to
aware of
adjust.
it, and that's good because it really sums up even like just a glass every single day, like one
Yeah,
glass uh, once per week, not a problem at all. Every single day, and it sums up in calories, right?
yeah,
And
100%.
obviously, we addressed sleep before. It also has an effect on sleep, right? And
Yeah.
you know,
I have a question to you. What I really like, and I think that's also part of my natural DNA and what I like, and also how I'm built. Let's say, I usually try to focus on like getting enough proteins in there every day. I think
mhm,
that's something I
mhm,
really kind of get, and I like to have the chicken and beef and maybe a protein shake also on the go. That's a good snack. I also learned this from you often.
good.
How would if you would be me, like also super busy, not time to like track things, like what would be your main focus, like choosing your daily meals, like also the proteins or more the fats
Yeah,
or the other
absolutely,
part of it?
absolutely. So usually when I look at your calendar, you probably have some business lunch. You have maybe an invitation, multiple nights probably.
Mhm.
So basically, when you're invited, you cannot choose what you have, right? It's just like, okay, this is the dish, and you're going to have this. This typically in a restaurant or when you have like a business lunch or whatnot. Meaning, in those situations, you have a little bit too much carbohydrates and fats. So
Mhm.
what you should be doing, it's just a recommendation. It's like the meals that you actually can control, like focus on them, and then
Mhm.
make sure that you go like high protein and carbs and fat not too high, because you know you're going to have like these dinners, you're going to have
Yeah.
the lunch, and then you compensate for
Mhm.
those, right?
Yeah.
So even with my clients, some of them are bankers or like
Mhm.
people are constantly on the go, and obviously they cannot go to such an event and tell them, okay, sorry, I cannot have this meal because I want to lose some body fat. I
Mhm.
mean, it's part of their part of work, right? It's
Yeah. Yeah.
yeah. So what they do is, or what we do is, we focus on the meals that we actually can
Mhm.
control, and as you said, protein, certainly a portion of vegetable. Carbohydrates in moderation, depends on how often you practice sports.
Yeah.
Typically, when you go for runs and do a lot of swimming or whatnot, then you can increase carbohydrates too. But
Yeah.
because you have these business lunch and dinners, you should go a bit
Mhm.
lower on carbohydrates and fats
Yeah.
because you're going to compensate with those meals, right?
Yeah, that's a very good tip. I mean, I in my breakfast situation, I usually really either I have like a mager quark or what's the name of that in
Low
English?
fat quark, yeah, I
Local
think.
quark, something like this, with some muesli, but keep it or just some berries. That's already good for me. Or I just have like 2, 3 eggs, stuff like this. But
Yeah,
the worst is like having like a lot of bread and a lot of carbohydrates, just because I don't feel also here work performance the whole morning. I get up and down, and for me that's not good. And the best was
yeah.
I was satisfied, or I wasn't hungry anymore, and I didn't have those spikes. So not
Exactly. That's an extra benefit of eating
yeah,
protein, because you're not hungry anymore. It's
yeah.
very satiating.
And just one more comment here. Breakfast, water, all those, maybe a fruit, that's okay. And then your morning is already great. And if your morning went great, also here, work performance, your mindset is good, you're
Yeah,
productive,
yeah,
and it
yeah,
continues.
yeah,
Otherwise, it's
yeah.
the exact other way around. That's not good at all.
Yeah, 100%. Well, okay, this is maybe, I know already the answer, but the relationship between exercising, fitness, diet, sleep, and productivity, work performance. I mean, we already gave the answer. It's a clear
Yeah.
yes. It affects.
Uh-huh.
Why is it that entrepreneurs and people who focus on career tend to be more obese than someone who, let's say, has just like a 9 to 5? Because there are
Mhm.
studies out there, and like it's a huge difference actually when you look. Okay,
Yeah.
the ones who are
I
entrepreneur, they're
Mhm. I think in your mental health, does it help you? It helps you to make a lot of good decisions. I have to do a lot of decisions every day. I have
no,
talks, I have to make decisions all the time. So first of all, you want to reduce the amount of decisions. That definitely helps in general.
no,
Keep some clarity about your goals or like some
no,
optimizations. That's also good. And on the other way around, on the other hand, um, of course, then you're not disciplined more anymore in the evening to kind of, yeah, okay, let's say no to this usually, because then it's more easy to say yes. And I guess people are just like too tired, like really too tired of like, okay, in the evening I also have to be disciplined. That's why I eat more. That's why you eat more unhealthy, all that stuff. And I think that's really a big problem. And that's also why the goal is there to keep that in focus. And a lot of managers are probably obese. I think on the other way around, you have a lot of entrepreneurs now actually that are trying to focus on that, or they also some top manager that are like they're always going for like the big runs, ultra endurance things, because they also know the combination because the
Yeah.
world has changed.
I mean, yeah, you must like. There is this video of Gary Vee when he got asked, so how important is health and fitness to you? And he says, well, or how important is it for your business? And he goes like, well, if I'm dead, I cannot do business. It's like so simple, right? It's
Yeah.
obviously exaggerated, but still, if you're not healthy, and worst case you get sick or whatnot,
Yeah,
you
it's
cannot operate.
100%. And that's also why I'm trying to focus on those things. And of course, I think I have a lot of natural energy. That's also good. But at the end, it's for me, it's a lot of mindset.
No,
At the end, I'm really trying to focus what does help and not help my mindset,
no,
because that's also what I tell here. I always say to everyone, guys, we have to have a champion's mindset. We have to think and act like champions,
no,
whatever is needed. And if we can
no.
instill that, great. If we can't, then we have a problem. And because at the end, it's always the mindset that changes things in business and
Yeah,
moves things forward.
100%, 100%. You just mentioned that you have a natural high energy level. Where else do you get your energy from?
I think I get
Do you drink coffee, right? Like how many
yes,
coffees do
yeah.
you have a day?
I think in general I have like 5 to 6 coffees a day. What I really like is El Toni, things like this. That's a cool drink. I actually like that as well. Um, Sugar, I'm sometimes in the evening, like desserts, like some chocolate, stuff like this. That's okay, or like that's also what I'm having, but not during the day. I don't get like the daily energy out of that. That's also important for me.
Have you ever gone without caffeine for a day or two or a week?
Um, no, for a week I think I don't. I
Not right.
haven't. Maybe I should do it. Eh?
I've done some experiments, and it's brutal to see what it does to your body. Like it's
Okay.
almost like you get this addiction. And right now I don't drink energy drinks anymore, and especially the
Yeah.
first couple of days where like I was thinking my brain is not working correctly. It was
Okay. That's maybe
terrifying.
that's a good challenge. I should actually do
At the
it
end of the
next
day,
week.
you don't want to rely on that. I know
Yeah.
if I can use it strategically, use some caffeine, and I
Yeah.
can enhance my performance, and that's
And
good.
it's
But if you're
yeah.
just like dependent on that, probably
Mhm.
not that good, right?
Yeah, makes sense. Makes sense. I think if you can use it strategically, that's great.
Yeah.
Uh, I like that. Like that idea. What else? Energy. Yeah, I get some energy in some movement in the morning. Actually, also through meditation. Actually, no
Yeah.
movement at all. I that really helps. Sometimes it's just a minute. Sometimes it's 10 minutes. I think that's great. And just thinking. I just get the energy. Also, some good music, good
Yeah.
conversations, being on the move, and
This, yeah.
yeah, it's important.
Like stimulating conversations or listening to
Yeah,
something inspiring. This
yeah,
always gives me energy too.
yeah,
Interesting.
yeah.
When you hire new employees, do you actually check whether they're active and healthy as well or not?
Mhm. Good question. No, I didn't. I didn't do it on purpose, to be honest. But also here, very important for me, mindset and
Mhm.
cultural fit. Of course, experience and some those things are also very important for some jobs, for some not. Where you say, hey, you can also learn that, and it's also an internship. That's all good. But always the cultural fit. It has to fit with the company, and the mindset has to be right. And
Mhm.
in whatever way it is. And also here you see probably if you only work out once a year and you have no idea about anything about food or nutrition, then
Yeah.
you really have a big problem. And also
I just wanted
you
to
show that.
say, like, yes, if you take an athlete, he probably already has the right mindset, and
Yeah.
you can see like the correlation
Yeah.
there, 100%. Do you do
100%.
something with your team? I think I've seen on Instagram they did some runs or the workouts together.
Yeah, shout out to Alina. Alina is actually not a pro, but she's very good in track and field. So she took us to an exercise training on lunchtime. It was really hard. A 200-meter sprints after training is really it's hard. I went for a run with Anya once in the morning at like 7 or 6 o'clock, and I think now I really want to instill this morning sports club or lunch sports club. Funny, actually, I really talked to Anya about this morning, but we don't do it regularly because everyone has his or her own schedule. I know some people are working out
Mm,
together, and some people are not doing anything at all.
mm. All right. All right. Um, all right. Before we
Mhm,
said like entrepreneurs and businessmen, they tend to be more obese. You don't fall into this category.
mhm,
What tips, I'd say 3 tips that you would give to other entrepreneurs or someone,
mhm,
a businessman who struggles with their weight, with lack of
mhm.
energy, maybe feels unhealthy?
Yeah.
Just 3 things. What comes to mind?
Um, Check your daily movement. Really helps with a smartwatch or anything. How many steps, how many calories, or whatever you have there on this watch. You can so you really realize, okay, did I move or not? Because this really helps. Just movement itself helps getting movement into the company. So
Hmm.
track your movement. Then I think maybe once a month or something, or twice a month, just track your calories, track what you eat. Not just to keep exactly the calories right. I think it's more like conscious. Oh, I didn't know
Hmm.
so much fat, oh, so much
Hmm.
sugar, stuff
Hmm.
like this. It
Hmm.
helps you have a
With the
good
awareness.
nutrition. It's the
Hmm.
fuel. It's your
Hmm.
airplane,
Hmm.
your car. You have to get good fuel in there. So because that's how you
Hmm.
work. So definitely also track your calories. And to be fully honest, if you have motivation problems with sport, think about the sport as a calm down 20-30 minutes, 10 minutes, go for a run, go for a walk, do some push-ups in the evening if you're stressed out or something, 50-20 push-ups, whatever it helps already.
Hmm.
That's always good.
Hmm.
And maybe as a basic thing, just drink enough water.
100%.
Oh, that
100%.
yeah.
What I like to tell, because I also work with a lot of entrepreneurs and
Yeah,
businessmen, take the discipline they developed in business in their career and apply that to fitness and that
very
health,
good,
because
very
they
good.
have it. And I did the other way around, right? I this like developed the entire discipline in fitness, and I
Yeah,
see, okay, if I put in the work and
yeah,
like over a long period of time I get the results, then I
yeah.
applied it into business and it works there too. And
That's
now I
fantastic.
tell
Yeah, that's
others
true.
do the other way around, right?
That's a fantastic tip. Yeah, that's true.
Mm.
And it helps. It helps because, and especially if you see everything as one part, it's your life, and you have to organize it both ways. And yeah, plan your
Yeah,
workouts, plan your
yeah,
meals, whatever.
yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
good tip.
That's your responsibility.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Cool. Yeah, dude, since you're the expert of Generation Z, what is their view on fitness? Is it more like a physique driven motivation? Are they more performance orientated, or just like in general? How
Yeah.
would you assess?
So what we can say is that Gen Z is definitely much more informed than earlier generations. So they know about nutrition. They have
Mm,
seen the
100%.
sugar documentaries on Netflix. They
Yeah.
know about vegan stuff, vegetarian stuff. They think, okay, should I do it? So they test a lot of things out. Some people they test out vegan, then they realize, oh, actually my inflammatory system or my what is it called, like that's protecting you from illness, your
Immune
system,
system.
yeah,
Mm,
immune system isn't that good, so they try other things, whatever helps. I think this is good. And I also think because through Instagram and stuff, yeah, probably there's a lot some more influence on like how do I look, how do I want to look, and stuff like this. So there's more information, maybe also some motivation, because you see through stories how other people actually work out and do things. On the other side, I think the distribution is still in the society there, right? I mean, there are people who don't care at all, and there are people
mm,
that want to look like you, or like they want to get even bigger, and or they just want to go like only a marathon, stuff like this. But I think the possibilities, digital possibilities, information is there. So I think they know more, and they're also a little bit more conscious about that. So that's definitely good.
Yeah, lies on the hand just because of the internet and information that spreads
Yeah.
so easily, and you can get information. Makes
Yeah.
sense.
Yeah.
Yeah. So yeah, thanks for those insights. Very valuable. One more question, actually, because I'm going to upload this on the Stronger Than Yesterday podcast. Like
Good.
one tip or one thing people can do today to become better and stronger than yesterday.
When you go to sleep, you actually think of 3 bad things that happened that you could have improved. Like a really detailed situation. Oh, when I was talking to Marco, I should have said it differently. Today I picked up the chocolate instead of the protein chocolate. Should have done this. And 3 good things. So 3 bad things, 3 good things. Comes back to your journal thing in the morning. Really much better, of course. But it helps you reflect the day. It helps you get to sleep better because you end the day right. It's just in your mind. You can do it when you're lying with your eyes closed. You have better sleep, much energy, and you get better because you always improve. So 3 bad things, 3 good things, then you get.
Great point. Reflection. It's, by the way, also part of the journal. There's like the morning part, morning mindset, and then the evening reflection. And I think the first question is like, what was the highlight of the day and what could you do better? It's not 3 things, but exactly the same principle. So yeah, very, very good point, actually.
And by the way, I'm gonna. You're welcome. I'm gonna use your journal now because you sent it to me, and you know me. I mean, I'm doing some journaling also for myself. But I told me the challenge. I really want to use your journal now for like the 8 weeks or how long is the program?
It's 8 weeks.
Yeah,
dude, challenge is on. Like I'm writing it down. So 8 weeks from now,
do that.
Or even like a few weeks into the journaling, into this period, I'm hitting you up and ask about it. Cool. Good. I think we can wrap it up here. Again, was very valuable, good insights. And once again, thanks a lot for your time and for doing this with me.
You're welcome.
Maybe just to wrap it up, where can people find you? I mean, you're everywhere. They can just Google Yannick Blättler or
LinkedIn, Yannick Blättler.
What social media channel do you prefer or use the most?
I think Instagram I use the most still, but LinkedIn is always cool.
Okay. Also, and Instagram, you use your at NEOVISO or the personal?
No, at Yannick Blättler. Yeah, I'm Yannick Blättler right now.
All right.
And maybe I'm uploading some more TikToks, but that's part of the project today.
Yeah, dude, my TikTok game is also not on point yet. I need to work on that.
Yeah, but it's also consistent at least.
Yeah, but that's very random. Maybe I probably should have a talk with you about that in a separate.
Yeah, let's develop a TikTok strategy for you. Yeah, that's a good idea.
All right, cool. Dude, thanks again for your time. It was good talking to you as always. And until soon.
Yes, until soon, man.
Cheers.
Bye bye. Cheers, you too.